Hey, good morning, everyone. Wow, that was loud.
I'm awake.
Welcome.
Good
I got to
morning.
sit back.
Yeah.
You got to turn me down a little bit because I'm just going to blow up both my eardrums. So anyway, welcome to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. I'm your friend in the real estate business, Phil Nardella, and Taylor Williams Moniz. Just everything. Mom,
Morning.
attorney extraordinaire.
Thank you.
She is your favorite real estate attorney, among other things. How are you?
I'm doing well. How
Terrific.
are you?
We have Precious here. Precious, obviously.
Morning,
Hi,
Precious.
how are you? She's waving.
Doing well. My gremlins are 4 months old today.
Okay. Did you not blink and now it's 4 months?
Isn't that wild? I know. Vanessa, our nanny, and I were taking them to Montessori this morning, and I told her that. She's like, they're not 4 months. I'm like, no, Ness, they are. And I like
4
like,
months.
Yeah, 4
Oh, my
months.
God. You know, I blinked and kept my eyes closed just a little too long. My oldest is 38 years old now.
Your oldest is older than me.
Thank you for that.
Just had to throw it out there.
Wow.
It's like when you talk about your weight, and I want to just smack you around a little. But they're 4 months. I can't believe it. Like, it's just
God,
crazy.
I got to tell you something. They're all
cute.
so cute.
I know, they're so cute.
Yeah.
I told Phil, I took Cameron to the grocery store last weekend for the first time, and we went to Trader Joe's, and I sent Phil this video, but he sat in the cart, and when the cart started moving, I mean, the kid had the most fun, like his face the entire time, and then I gave him, like, every item that I would pull from the shelf, I would hand to him, and I taught him how to throw it into the basket, and so he's just, like, lobbing,
Just like
mushrooms.
what a great, yeah.
Oh, it's like, he had, like, such a fun time, so I think I'm going to take him back again this Sunday. It was really cute.
Now what's going to happen is anybody hands him anything now, he's just going to throw it over
Throw
his
it into
shoulder.
the car. I know.
Thank you.
I know, but the problem is, like, every single person at Trader Joe's is like, he's so cute. I'm like, no. Craig and I are in so much trouble.
Oh yeah, no, and you know what's funny is the girls are just adorable,
They're so
and they're
sweet.
gonna get cuter.
I know.
Which is gonna be tough for you.
Frustrating.
Yeah, no, you're screwed.
We'll figure it out.
You know what? Here's a weird thing that I've never told you because
What?
no one really would care about this. Makes no difference. Grocery stores, I love them.
Okay.
I know it's strange, huh?
No, it's
I love
not.
to go to grocery stores. You know why? Because there's so much stuff, and it's all in perfect order.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. It's like
Do you know
Christmas
why
to
I
me.
like to go? Because I get away from my kids. But now, unfortunately,
anymore.
exactly,
Yeah,
I ruined that.
I can't
for
wait to see you
myself.
have to go because eventually you're going to have to go with all three.
Oh,
and
that's
that's
going to be
gonna
hysterical.
Really,
I have no idea.
They're going to
what
be
do
standing
then.
in the cart.
Yeah. Oh, God. No, I don't think so. Anyway,
They're
so
going to have to. Hey,
so
why don't we see if we can't go? What's coming up on today's show in the next 60 seconds?
demand for new mortgages jumps 28% in 1 week.
Which is good news, right? Kellar Williams to pay $40 million to settle cold call class action suit.
Redfin CEO Glenn Kelman calls millennials the roommate generation.
U.S. lawmakers demand Department of Justice probe into RealPage's Yield Star software.
Hey, negotiate better without saying a word. 35 tips for reading body language.
Panicked sellers are turning to Open Door later in the game.
Outdated MLS policy hides thousands of homes for sale.
Whoa.
Yikes.
All that and less on today's show.
I don't know. We might get to it.
No. Okay, hang on a second. Did you not just read the negotiate better without saying a word 35 tips?
I'm stoked. That's going to be a whole segment. I'm being facetious. I'm just trying to be positive, Phil.
No, I like it. And we're actually going to be starting off with something positive. Here's a positive.
Yeah.
My house is in escrow.
I'm not happy about this. I
Oh.
mean, I am happy about this, but I'm not happy about
Yeah,
this.
I'm with you. You know what?
Congratulations.
Again, it's the mixed emotion, you know.
So the story's kind of a long one, and I know that.
Yeah.
So
I can go quick.
Just
I
but
can
it's
quick.
a good story.
Okay, so I put it back on the market a couple weeks ago and had some people come in. I had somebody write an offer $110,000 less. Somebody else wrote an offer $100,000 less. So at least I said, well, at least we're kind of in the
Yeah, it's
ballpark.
like, are
I
you
said,
gonna counter?
Should I counter that?
Yeah.
I mean, is it worth it for me to? She goes, absolutely counter it. So I came down $20,000. So we were $80,000 apart. That's fine. And so I'm sitting there. Somebody comes in with her husband. She says, I saw it over the weekend at the open house. My husband's just back in town and wanted him to see it. He didn't seem too impressed, right?
Yeah.
At the very end, he goes, tell me what's wrong with your house. Just do me a favor. Just tell me what's wrong with your house. And I went, well, the trash compactor, you have to push it twice to get it to do the full cycle. He goes, what else? And I said,
There was one other thing, but I forget what it was.
the upstairs
was
bathroom
small.
has a little something in the
was-
glass,
yeah,
and
it
I've got to
was-
replace
oh,
the
yeah,
glass
yeah,
because
yeah.
I got to replace that.
Negligible.
He goes, what else? I go, that's it. He goes, okay. How much you looking for? And I said, well, I mean, I can tell you what I counter back with. Anyway, long story longer, they called me up half an hour later, said, okay, we're going to give you what you asked for. And I said, okay, well, fine, write it and we'll see. In the meantime, I'm sitting there. It's dark. I've finished dinner. I'm talking to my wife. We're watching television.
Which for Phil and Judy is like 6 p.m.
Yeah. It's late at night.
Like
it's 6:22
exactly.
in the evening. And somebody calls me, and he says, hey, I'd like to see your property. And I said, okay, cool, when? He goes, tonight. And I went, no. I go, it's dark. I don't know where you are, but it's dark here. And he goes, no, I'd really like to see it. And I went, he goes, my client's really interested. And I looked at Judy. She goes, well, I don't care. So the guy comes out. He goes, I'm coming out from Pasadena. And I said, okay. Well, Pasadena tells me, if you're Pasadena, West LA, Santa Monica, when they come out, it's like the price isn't shocking, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
If it's somebody here, it's
right.
oh my God, how much do you want? 1.3 million. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, no.
So anyway, he comes out and he's holding a
phone.
He's holding a phone.
I got you.
No, I know. I was wondering. I thought you were actually sending me a message.
No.
And I was like,
fixing
what are you
fixing
trying to tell me?
My boot over here.
So anyway, so he's got a thing, and he says, this is Phil. And he goes, this is my client, and I see the thing. Okay, great. And so now he's Chinese, okay? And so he's speaking to her in Chinese, so I don't understand. So I'll tell him something, and he'll actually tell her something in Chinese. Felt great. And so we go through the house and everything. We go into the back of the house, and he's still doing it. He tells me, okay, get on. He goes, grab a light. And so I had a light, and he goes, get all the way over there in the corner so she can see, how big the lot is and everything. And
it's big.
I come back in, and he goes, okay. What do you want? How much do you want? I go, well, I got offers coming in, so I'll take full price, I guess. And he goes, okay, we'll take it. And I went, what? And he looks at the hair and he goes, yeah, you want it? She goes, yes. And she goes, oh, you're a very handsome man. And I went, all right, you can have it.
Really? Do you want me or you want the house? Oh, you want the house?
So anyway, it was very funny. So he left, and I thought, okay, well, that's interesting. And he went from there to Pasadena, wrote the offer, got it to me at 10 o'clock that night. Both those offers came in within 20 minutes. And so I took because I said that I would, I took the one that came in at full price. I told him, I said, if you come in at full price, I'll take it. Unfortunately, the next day, I forgot that I was having a showing at noon. I was leaving to go to lunch, and I was pulling out of my driveway, and somebody pulled up, and he starts walking up my driveway. I go, are you here for me? He goes, by 12 o'clock. And I went, oh, shoot. And I turned everything off. I closed everything down. All the lights were off because yeah. So I rushed them through it. I felt bad. She was from the South Bay. She didn't have her husband there. She just had her baby. And at the very end, he goes, okay, what do you want for the property? And I went, well, I got to be honest with you. It's pretty much sold. I go, I got full price, and that was great. And I told the guy that, if he caught it, okay. He goes, no. You didn't sign it off, right? And I said, well, no, but I told him. He goes, yeah, I know, but you didn't sign it off. I've got the offer half written. Let me just go write another offer. And I went, okay. I mean, what am I supposed to say? No. Mm-hmm. And he said, okay. He brings it in at $20,000 more, right? However, my word is my bond, right? I could have, because the contract wasn't signed.
You're nice.
And he said he didn't understand that. And I said, well, if I tell you something, I'm going to do it.
You're a good
Cost
guy.
me $20,000.
You're a good
but
guy.
what can I tell you? And I said, now, here's the interesting thing. The other thing, not only did they want to buy the house, the people from China, but they also want to buy the furniture.
Right.
Which...
And they're okay to do a rent back, right? For a minute?
Actually, no, they don't. They don't want to rent back. They said that I could close it whatever day I want to close it, because she's not even coming into the country.
Oh, that's what it was.
She's not even coming into the country till August.
They'll close it.
So I don't know what they're going to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, so anyway, so...
Well, I'll drive by and check it out for you. I live 2 miles away from you.
Yeah. I'm kind of
snoop.
curious to see what's going on. Anyway, so that's my really long story. Yeah. So okay, so let's go off of let's see how are we doing on by the numbers.
SCV by the numbers.
Okay. All right.
Oh, no, don't make me guess. He's looking at me.
Yeah. You both have to guess just for fun. Although I don't know if I've got $100 on me. Okay. How many?
It's not going to matter.
How many active listings? It's between 3 and 400. How many active?
Okay, I'm going to go 329.
Okay. Precious.
370. She said 370.
Close. Okay. She was well, I don't know. She was closer. It's 358. Okay. How about this? Active under contract and pending.
Okay. So 358.
Between 1 and 2.
358. That's not great.
Well, it's interesting when. You mean how many?
No, I'm just saying how many active listings.
Oh, got
358.
it.
I'm
No,
saying,
no. It's actually good for sellers still.
Yeah,
Because the
exactly.
buyers are starting to come back.
Okay, so pending and under contract.
Yep.
Between 1 and 2.
Yep.
139.
120?
120.
Very close. If you were dyslexic, you would have won because you had
193.
130 thing. It was 193.
Too
Yep.
bad.
Okay. Sold last 30 days. Santa Clarita. How many sold in the last 30 days and closed?
Between.
Oh, sorry.
on.
Between 1 and 2.
Oh, great. 114.
I'm still sticking with 120.
She says 120.
Oh, it's close. 127. Wow.
127 in the last 30 days, really.
Closed. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's incredible because,
That
only
is.
358 active listings. So,
I'm surprised.
again, and it's funny because as soon as things turned around, we went to 700 listings. Remember, I told you, I said
Yep.
we're going up.
Yep.
To come down to half of that, that's amazing.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got an interesting home warranty story for you.
Okay.
All right. I'm in escrow with another one in Stevenson Ranch, which is interesting because 2 out of the 7 that are in escrow are both mine.
Humble brag. That's why you should hire Phil. Yep. Okay. So you're in escrow.
So anyway, so we're in escrow.
This isn't the one with the meditation room, is it?
No. This is another one.
Okay.
So anyway, we're in escrow. The people do their checking, and it's got some things that need to be done, right? But
Let's do all houses.
and this is kind of scary sometimes. They had a person come out to check the pool. Okay, it's got a pool, it's got a jacuzzi, and usually when they have somebody come out, they check and they look at it, and they're reasonable, But then you can also tell if the inspector has got kids in college and he wants to pay for them. Because what happens is he picks out every little thing, and instead of saying, I could probably fix this or I could look at it for this much an hour, he gives you a replacement cost, right? To give you an idea. The pool light. Now, there's like 4 pool lights in this pool. One of the pool lights is out,
Okay.
and he can replace it for $1,200.
Okay.
Well, that's nice considering that's a $500 pool light. Installed $500. So he's got a thing to where most people that have saltwater pools, and I didn't know this, most people that have saltwater pools disconnect the saltwater. For some reason, they just say, it's not worth it. So they
My
disconnect it.
parents have a saltwater pool.
Yep. And so anyway, so they disconnected it. So this guy doesn't say it should be checked. Hook it back up if you want salt water. Hook it back up and check it. He doesn't say that. He says it's not hooked up.
It's broken.
And it's $2,295 to fix it. Right. So like I said, the guy's got kids in college. Right. He's like, oh man, I gotta. And so they come up with this thing. The physical inspection report, the things to be done, health and safety, not a problem we can do.
Of
but
course.
because he brings in this pool guy, he adds up the stuff that the pool guy wants to make it perfect and says we also want $7,900 in cash to fix the pool.
You're like,
And I called the client and I said, "Don't you have a home warranty?" She goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Okay, this, call them up and have them fix it. It's included in your home warranty." And I said, "And I'll tell them to go jump on the lake when it comes to a $1,200 pool light. And if they want to hook up their salt water, they can. It's up to them, but they're not going to hook it up. And it doesn't work when they unhook it."
good for you.
And so now we're from $7,900 down to virtually nothing,
Yeah.
right? And that's a good thing. But
That inspector's poor kids in college.
yeah,
How rude.
Great. Now one of them's going to have to leave.
But hey, I
leave
mean,
school.
that's the benefit of having somebody like you as the agent. You're the expertise, what the home warranty covers, and
Yeah.
you're able to kind of read
can
these
you-
little tricks and
Can-
whatnot.
Can you imagine if the realtor didn't really know about that and they paid $7,900 and
I think
closed
a lot of
it?
people probably would. That's what I'm saying. That's
would've been
wild.
really bad.
No, thank you.
Okay, so next
Just
thing
making
is
me think like, we didn't have a pool guy come out. I just had you look at it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there's a fence.
you know what? And you had the home warranty.
Yeah.
So if anything breaks, it's
Yeah.
going to be covered.
Yeah.
So that's the important thing. Okay, so gas bill. What's going on with the gas?
Oh my holy mother. Okay. I didn't even know we were going to talk about this, but I'm so glad you mentioned it. I was upstairs in my home office and I'm like, oh, the gas bill. And normally ours is like $80. It was like $140 last month, which I was like, ooh, that's expensive. Open it, was drinking a lemon bubble water, spit it, flying across, and both of my dogs jump up because I'm just like, And I screamed, what the word I can't say on the air? Please do not curse. $300.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Yep.
Help.
Ours is 460.
What?
Yeah. 460.
What? Why?
I don't know. That's why I asked you. I don't understand. And
I'm gonna have to get a second job.
Okay.
Gas
It's
bill.
nuts. And you know the funny thing is, it's
Heart
like,
failure.
what are we really using?
That's what I'm like. What am I doing?
What are we
Phil
really
has to take
using?
a phone call. I don't know, but so I looked at it and I'm like, the usage is not that different. I mean, because we don't like ours is on because somebody's usually home during the day,
Right.
But like, if I was telling Sherry, my friend, our office manager, I was like, if it weren't for these darn kids, I would just turn everything off, and Greg and I would just like either walk around naked when it's hot or put a blanket on when it's cold, right? Like it's insanity.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So I don't know. I mean, I've heard on the news that gas prices were going up, but I'm thinking like, okay, like it's negligible.
Yeah.
No, not double.
They're going. Yeah. It's sometimes triple.
Insane. I know.
So I don't get it, but this is what I'm thinking. Okay?
Cameron's gonna have to get a job. That's what I'm
So
thinking.
could it have something to do with that gas leak that they had, and then they had to pay everybody in Chatsworth and Porter Ranch and Northridge all of that money
like
because their
conspiracy
values have come
theory.
down, and my kids are sick, and blah blah.
I don't think they can do that.
They can't do that
No,
and say,
I don't-
hey, okay, we have to pay all this stuff off. So now,
I don't know. I'm not, a gas attorney. I don't know how it's regulated, unfortunately. I'm not,
Man.
I'm good, but I'm not that good.
Man.
But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because my goodness. And then I'm irritated because there's, bubble water spittle all over my office. And I'm like,
the dogs
angry about
I
the
could see the
bill.
dogs jumping off the bed or jumping off the thing,
Felix
just
is
hiding.
Like, yeah, exactly. Felix is like, what's happening? Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
I know, I'm not pleased. I'm like, I'm going to call. Greg's like, oh, I feel bad for whoever you talk to. I'm not going to call. I mean, I don't think they're going to do anything about it.
Well, get in line if you're going to call, because everybody that I talk to goes, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
I should have known, like, along with the email, which doesn't normally happen. It's like, it has this huge green button, like, if you need a payment plan. And I'm like, I don't need a payment plan, but part of me just wants to click the button because I'm like just perturbed by this whole thing. Like, fine, I'll pay you $7 a month.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and then so it's $460 this month, and so next month, then if I only make a little bit of a payment, next month it's going to be $920.
I think that's the thing.
And then
like,
it's going to be $1312, and then it's going to be. It's like
I know.
you'd never catch
I
up.
know, that's the problem. It's highly unfortunate.
I wonder if it's just a California thing.
I don't know. My best friend Angelica's in town from Texas.
yeah.
Hey, girl, you better be listening.
Yeah.
I'll ask her when she's coming up tonight. I'll ask her if they've got insane gas bills.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, why don't we?
Geez, glad we got to any of the articles or real estate during our first
No,
segment.
we got plenty of time.
We do, but so I guess let's just take a real quick break.
Awesome. And we're
then-
gonna start with a little bit of good news when we come back.
I'm excited.
I love it.
Stay with us.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, okay, welcome back to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS, 1220 AM and 98.1 FM. It's hard to say fast, so how about if I say it slower? Hey, welcome back to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS, 1220 AM and 98.1 FM, and on Facebook Live. By the way, hybrid.
Hello, everyone.
I'm Phil, that's Taylor, Precious is here, everybody's here, it's a party.
Angelica's here. She said she's at an
Angelique.
IHOP up here in Valencia.
Oh, nice.
I was like, why aren't you at my house? Just go to my house. My dogs love her.
Oh,
So
IHOP. What do I like at IHOP? Oh, those crepes.
I haven't been to IHOP in probably 15 years.
Yeah, they have
Anyway.
those crepes. I really like the crepes.
Hey,
Okay,
so you said you have good news.
we do. Let's start
I
with, because
like
you know
when
what?
you give good news.
A
Because
lot of-
last week you were like, ooh,
Well-
child, Debbie Downer.
Well, I mean,
I
everything
needed
I,
like
read.
a full donut almost after the show last week, and I never eat a full donut.
She had to dive into the donut. Oh,
I
my
was
God.
too upset.
That's
All
funny.
right, so what you got?
Okay, so now here's this is good news, bad news. The good news about this article is it starts good, and then you keep reading, and it's like, okay, but let's still we'll give you the
It's
reality.
good, but let's all just take a minute.
Real estate rebound. Demand for new mortgages jumps 28% in 1 week.
See, and this is interesting to me because this is like completely a 180 from what
Yeah.
my understanding of the market right now.
Exactly
so,
right.
all right, so fill me in.
The U.S. housing market's topsy-turvy ride shows no sign of letting up in the new year, as mortgage applications rose sharply last week, despite fears that home sales will keep sinking in 2023, which is a really, really great thing. Mortgage applications for the week ending January 13, 2023, rose a whopping 27.9% from the prior week, according to the data released Wednesday by the Mortgage Bankers Association of America. The uptick was
Okay.
due to a combination of falling mortgage rates and the normal post-holiday rise in applications. Okay, so realtors, they go into hibernation, around
Right.
Christmas time, and then they come back out, and then they start calling their clients, going, "Hey, what do you say?" So that has a little something
It's
to do with
time,
it.
it's time.
The average contract interest rate for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage backed by the FHA fell to 6.26% during the week ending January 13th.
Man, I'm glad I bought when we did.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Marla Ferris.
Now, wasn't it? Didn't we report that they actually made it down to 5 3/4 at one time, and then they bounced right back up? Yeah, that compares to the 6.39. Okay, so they're 6.26, but it went down from 6.39 a week earlier. Mortgage rates are now at the lowest level since September 2022, and about a percentage point below the peak mortgage rate late last fall, which was over 7%, obviously.
Okay.
So this is good news. I can go through the whole thing, but and it is nice, but here we
last
go.
paragraph.
One problem facing the U.S. housing market is an ongoing lack of available homes for sale. Redfin estimates the active listings are up about 21% a year ago. Now, this is interesting. I wrote a note here. It shows us how different Santa Clarita is from like the rest of the country.
I know.
Because when you say they're up 21%, that could mean that we would be, again, way up, but we're down.
Right.
Right. It says mostly they're up over 21% from a year ago, but mostly because homes are sitting on the market longer. Meanwhile, sales continue to decline while new home listings are down 22% year over year. So I'm wondering, in fact, I should check that out and report back next week. I'm wondering how Williams Homes is doing out in Castaic.
I don't know.
They got beat when it came to opening. It was great, and then they finally opened all these homes in Castaic, and they all start at $1 million. They go from $1 million to almost $2 million, and it's like worst time to actually open that whole thing.
Yeah, find out.
Yeah, I need to know, and I don't. I need to know.
know.
Yeah, well, I kind of do.
Yeah,
know?
you do actually. For your
Okay,
job.
what's next? Hey, how do you love cold calls? You like them?
No.
You ever mess with them?
No, but I know you do. You talked about it. No, because iPhone just says spam risk, so I don't even entertain. If I don't recognize the number, I don't answer it. And if they need me, they'll leave me a voicemail, and then I'll call them back.
I've actually answered a few.
Yeah, you mess with them.
Well, no, I mean, I mess with them. Well, sometimes I do. Sometimes I just don't. Sometimes it's like, no, sorry. And but sometimes it's not spam. It's somebody that wants me. So
Well, in your industry,
yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've got to kind of do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just say there's a company out there that's been making robocalls and stuff like that, and I guess people have said stop it, and I guess maybe they didn't. I mean, I guess. So what company is that? I don't know. Have you ever heard of Kellar Williams?
I may have.
Kellar Williams to pay just a mere $40 million to settle cold call class action lawsuit.
Remind me when you're done with this article to say one thing about the $40 million at the end.
Okay. And there's another thing that I want to ask you about here, which I
Probably the
find
same thing.
hilarious.
It's probably the same thing.
As part of the deal, the real estate franchisor also agreed to create a task force. They need their own task force to enhance compliance with the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Okay. So Keller Williams Realty has agreed to pay $40 million to settle a class action lawsuit alleging a major real estate franchisor agents made unsolicited, pre-recorded calls to consumers without their consent, including calls to consumers on the National Do Not Call Registry. Such calls violate the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, which was signed into law in 1991 to protect consumers from unsolicited telemarketing. Okay, although calling expired listings in a time-honored way to drum up business in real estate, being on the receiving end of such cold calls is not always welcome. And I got to tell you something, if you're actually in real estate and you're going to a company and there's trainers there, trainers say, look, this is how you get listings. You knock on doors, you make calls, you call expired listings, which means you get an expired listing list and it tells you that day what listing did not sell and the contract is up. Guess how many calls those people get?
I can't even.
And it's
would drive
always
me
the same.
insane.
They go, hi, I was just wondering, if you haven't, I've never called expired listings. Okay. And it's strictly because I think that they're too upset. to deal with anybody, and I'm probably going to be the 40th call that they got.
Yeah.
And the very first question that they usually ask the agent is, it's usually this, oh, we've got a buyer for your house, right? And then they go, where was that buyer yesterday?
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. I mean, are you telling me that just now you just got this buyer
Right,
this morning?
this morning.
Which is automatically you're getting off on the wrong foot.
Right, exactly.
And so they always say, well, agents aren't the same. I'm going to do something different and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Okay. So that being said, that actually is something that happens. Exasperated homeowners sometimes even get local authorities involved to stop the seemingly endless stream of agent calls. Many lawsuits have been filed against brokerages and franchisors under the TCPA. In this particular case, plaintiff Beverly Deshay filed a class action complaint against Kellar Williams in June 2022 via a circuit court for the 19th Judicial Circuit in and for Indian River County, Florida. God, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
Attorneys Stephen Coleman and Ira Kaufman of Miami filed the case. Coleman and Kaufman also filed other TCPA cases against Kellar Williams and against other real estate companies, including Anywhere, which is formerly Realogy, which we know is Better Homes and Gardens, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, all of those things. So,
do you want me to talk about the settlement?
I do. Yes,
Okay.
jump
All
in
right.
there.
So, let's see. I think this is actually pretty funny. So, of course, the settlement, in the settlement agreement, Deshay, the case also resolves around claims and other TCPA cases filed against Kellar Williams. And of course, Kellar Williams is saying, no, we didn't do anything wrong, right? So the settlement, it still has to be approved by the court, by the way, notes that 2 million people may be eligible to receive payments of up to
Wait for it.
20 American dollars each. That amount is a far cry from the $500 per violation and $1,500 per willful or knowing violation stipulated under the TCPA.
Now,
Interesting.
here's that cracked me up. That was one of the things that I was going to say.
Okay.
That's the first thing is, so question. The attorneys that put this together, okay? So is it kind of like that Camp Lejeune thing? What they do is they send out
Kind of.
stuff, and it says, guess what? Now, do you think they actually said, guess what? It's possible for you to get somewhere, $500, $1,500 if you actually come on board?
I don't know.
And then they end up with 20?
Yeah,
right?
I don't know.
Okay, because you got to do something.
You never guarantee a settlement amount. That would be, that's a hard no-no
Got
in
it.
legal
Well,
practice.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
But to get 2 million people,
Yeah, it's a lot.
And
I'm sure they subpoenaed the records and figured out how many of these people called, right? And then compared that with the national do not call list, right? And
Sure.
then those are your people.
got it. Okay, now, here's another question.
Okay.
The attorneys have to make some money. Okay, no, I'm serious,
That's
right?
what I was going to
The
bring
attorney
up also.
has to make some money.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if
love
I'm
it.
doing the math, right?
Yeah.
It says that there's 2 million people. $20 a piece is 40 million, and that was what they're thinking. They 40 million. So the attorney's just going to be altruistic and just say, hey, guess what? You know what? We're doing this for free this time, and you guys have all the money. Or are they being paid through the TCPA?
The agreement stipulates that the attorney's fees cannot exceed $10 million and that those fees will be paid from the $40 million settlement sum.
Okay, so that's
So there you go.
so that's going to be very disappointing to the people that aren't getting the full $20.
I know.
You know what? So somebody, I don't want to be the person that calls them and says, hey, guess what? You're not getting $20. You're going to probably only get 13 now. And they would be very upset.
That's a cocktail at like Marston's or,
I didn't even notice
Can you
that.
tell I'm not drinking? I'm talking in cocktail terms. It's tragic. Yeah.
But that's funny because I didn't even read that
Oh, yeah.
they got
Yeah,
10 million. Because I was going, well, where are they getting their money?
Yeah. Oh, that's the first thing I looked at.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I found very, very funny is they say Keller Williams, they say, we've done nothing wrong.
Right, of
We're going to
course.
pay the 40 million, but we've done nothing wrong. It's like, okay, what? It's like Kobe Bryant,
No,
when
but
he
this-
gave his wife a $4 million ring.
But I explain this to you all the time. Okay.
I've done nothing wrong.
No, but listen
Here's
to this.
a $4 million ring, honey.
It is easier. I tell my clients this all the time. It is, in most cases, easier to settle and throw some money at the problem, depending on what side you are on, than to go to trial because, especially if you have a jury trial, you may not win. And if you lose, you are going to pay so much more than, right, just throwing
Yes.
some money at it to be done with it, right?
That makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm sure a lot of jurors are not going to, they're going to think, oh my gosh, I hate cold calls. Screw Kellar Williams.
Oh.
They're wrong. They're done. Absolutely. Judgment for, see what I mean?
It's easy
So,
to get a jury if you say it's a cold call problem.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh,
Who
are you
hasn't
kidding me?
received a cold call?
Seriously?
That's my
This is
point.
awesome.
That's my point.
Yeah. They're all licking their lips.
But I guess I can't say all, but the majority of settlement agreements in the recitals in the beginning, it says, Phil says that Taylor did this. Taylor absolutely says she did not do this. We're not making any, findings about if Taylor did or didn't. This is what we're settling with, and that's it, right? So that's how it goes.
It just sounds so funny. We have done nothing wrong, but here's a check for $40 million. It's like,
the way that
isn't
it
that
goes.
contradictory
No.
to it?
No. There's no admission of liability clause. It's just it's the way it goes. So
I love it. Hey, guess what?
I want to know if I'm getting $17 though.
I would be very upset if they called me later after they told me I was going to get 20, and then they said, guess what? We've got to take our share, so now you're going to get 13.
I wouldn't care.
Or 14.
Yeah, you're a curmudgeon though. But that's why we love you.
Isn't that something that I would say? Being a 65-year-old
That's why I
old
said
guy,
it so you would recognize
curmudgeon.
it. But I didn't want to use some young kid slang.
Yeah, I would have said, what does that mean? No, first I would have said, huh? What? I can't hear you.
I can't hear you. Oh, sad.
Yeah, I know, really.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Glenn Kelman, you know who he is? He's the CEO for Redfin.
Yep.
He calls millennials the roommate generation.
Yeah, I can see it.
Makes sense. In an appearance on Barron's Live, Redfin CEO explained how rising mortgage rates have trapped homeowners and home buyers into home purgatory through tough for anyone to make a move. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
For years, real estate professionals have looked to millennials to push the housing market forward as previous generations slow their home buying and home selling activities. Yeah, there was a time only a couple years ago that they were saying the millennials are going to own the market. I mean, it's going to be, oh my God, they're doing such a great thing. Okay, so however, several obstacles overwhelming student loan debt, stagnant wage growth, and skyrocketing home prices have stifled millennials' home ownership's dreams and turned them into what Redfin CEO Glenn Kelman calls the roommate generation, which I guess makes sense. I think household formation a year and a half ago was at 5 million units, and now it's less than a fifth of that.
Well, think about it. I mean, Greg and I had this problem, we had to save money and get help and whatnot, but it's the down payment. It's hard when you've got student loans. You've got Mark Young, my partner, calls me my student loan, my mortgage without the mortgage, right? So it's so you've got your student loans and everything, and so you've got enough monthly money to pay for a mortgage, but saving for the down payment is really hard.
Crushing.
And so I don't want to go live with my parents again. I mean, I love my dad, but good Lord, no. So I'd rather call Angelique, like, let's shack up together, right?
Yeah,
so we'll
sure.
get a 2-bedroom apartment, and that's what a lot of people do. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. Although affordability was an issue well before the pandemic, Kelman said buyers seizing once-in-a-lifetime mortgage rates worsened the imbalance between supply and demand. As a result, home prices went up, increased 40% between 2020 and 2022. That's just an unprecedented rate of gain. However, buyers and sellers in 2020, 21, and 22 were more willing to bear the brunt of astronomical home price growth with low fixed-rate mortgages, offering long-term savings. But the Federal Reserve threw a wrench into that whole thing. And then the housing market, when they began raising rates in mid-2022.
We closed right before that.
Yep. No, you got right in under the door.
Did I know?
Which was terrific. So anyway, that goes on.
I completely. I mean, I read this and I'm like, yep, that was us.
Yep.
I get it. I mean, he's not my roommate; he's my husband.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's kind of
it's
a
the
roommate.
same thing.
I mean, yeah.
It's kind of messy. Actually, he's not messy at all.
Roommate with benefits. I mean babysitting.
3 kids. Yeah, believe me.
Those are the benefits now.
That's for a different show, Phil.
No, I'm saying the benefits now are he helps babysit. That's the benefit.
You don't babysit your own children. Right? People are like, he helps with the kids. I'm like, no, he doesn't help. They're his own children. He takes care of his own children. Like, I don't help with my kids. I take care of my kids.
Fine.
Our nanny helps with the children, right? My goodness. Don't
Let's
even
see.
get me started.
We don't get me started. She's getting all riled up. My goodness.
I know.
You need a drink.
No, I don't actually. I think it's just because I just literally chugged all of my coffee and now I'm just, yeah. Whew.
You know what? Let's see if we can't do this. Well, you know what? We don't have time to do this, so we're going to do it when we come back.
Okay.
All right.
What are we going to do?
We're going to see if we can't figure out who the heck Real Page's Yield Star is.
Yeah, this was
I don't
interesting.
even know who they are.
Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, I do now.
They're in
Hey, you know
trouble.
what we could talk about really quickly before
What?
the break? Okay,
Yeah.
the commercial that I can't stand, which I think we should have of the week.
Not 72 sold.
72
Oh my
sold. That's what
God.
I was going to say. I don't know
Yeah.
if any of our listeners have seen those commercials. They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
With the praying mantis on the thing. Yeah.
That's, I never. Yes, that is exactly what he looks like.
That
is
looks like a praying mantis. Yeah.
hysterical.
And what's really funny is they don't offer anything different.
We're disrupting the home buying market
In a good
but
way.
In a good way.
In a good
And
way.
then
You
all
know
these
why?
like stock photos
Because-
of these happy people like signing mortgage
Yeah,
documents. I'm
and
like,
if you look
I don't
across the
get
very,
it.
very bottom, it says we can say that we're actually doing better and people are making more money because of, and it says MLS data, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, yeah, right.
No, yeah. Phil had to pause it and send it to me. He's like, "Isn't this
Yeah.
illegal?"
I had
I'm
to
like,
pause
I
it,
can't read it.
take a photo of it, and then I had to blow
Blow
it
it
up.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which seems like it would be illegal.
Yeah, I'm
but
just
they
not a
can't.
huge fan of those commercials. No offense to that nice gentleman, but I'm just no,
Yeah,
thank you.
well, this is what I don't understand. They don't offer anything that's special.
That's what I don't get.
It's
What's-
like we'll come out, we'll list your house for 5%, and we're going to tell you we're going to sell it in 8 days, which is impossible.
Yeah.
Okay, which is impossible. All right, unless you give it away,
Right.
that's not going to happen.
I know.
So that's almost worse than an iBuyer. So, but what I think the whole thing is get them under contract.
Right.
And then realize, well, you wanted more than I suggested, so we're going to have
Let's
to take
wait.
this
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate that, to be honest. I
know.
hate that
Well,
because
let's go gripe about it over the break because we got to
okay.
take a break.
Oh man.
I know. I'm sorry, but then we're gonna get to this yield star weird thing. So stay with us.
Welcome back to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. We are on a roll. It's me, Phil. It's Taylor Williams Moniz, and it's Precious. We are all here. It's a party. We were just talking about teeth, which is
I know we were.
fascinating. Yeah. Okay, so let's just get into this. And it's funny because when I see something, I look at it and I go, should we talk about it? And it seems to be interesting because anytime anybody's in trouble, I like to talk about it. Because I like the fact that if somebody does something wrong and they get caught, I like it, right?
I know you do.
Okay,
You're
so
like a watchdog.
So it's weird because I see U.S. lawmakers demand DOJ probe, and I'm like, yes. And then it says into Real Page's Yield Star software. I have no idea what that is. Okay, so
What the what?
exactly right, exactly right. Yeah, lawmakers in both
Yep.
chambers of Congress, both chambers, which is really hard for that to happen, have accused Real Page of anti-competitive practices. Calls for an inquiry come a month after a sweeping and critical report into the company. Okay, a month after a report arguing that. Here we go. Rental
Yes.
technology company. That's what they do. Real Page was driving up rents and engaging in anti-competitive practices. A growing chorus of lawmakers have criticized the company and called on the U.S. Department of Justice and other regulators to investigate. Okay, so there's something in here, and I'll keep going, but there's something in here that kind of cracked me up.
Okay.
Lawmakers have ultimately sent at least 3 different letters to federal authorities, blah, 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 blah. They're doing something wrong. So what are they doing? We're concerned that the use of this rate-setting software. So what they do is, I guess, they actually put in there for rent for
It
landlords.
analyzes and tells you what they think the rent should be.
And you know what? And
Yeah.
do this. And usually it comes out with, hey, Chris, guess what? It should be higher. It
pretty
should be
high.
higher, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what you should be getting. So they
That's
go
what they're-
back.
That's what these lawmakers are saying, that it's artificially inflating and causing, wreaking
Yep.
havoc on the rental market.
Yep. It says we are concerned that the use of this rate-setting software essentially amounts to a cartel to artificially inflate rental rates in multifamily residential buildings. The letter continues. In addition, we are concerned about potential anti-competitive coordination taking place through the Real Page user group. You get all of these people together, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, guess what? You know what? We should all do the same thing. Finally, last week, 17 U.S. House Representatives sent a letter to both the DOJ and the FTC asking for an investigation into the Real Page. Between all 3 letters, the total of 21 lawmakers, all Democrats, have asked for federal authorities to look into the situation. Inman has reached out to Real Page and will update the story with any comment the company provides. Here's an interesting thing. And this didn't make any sense. The controversy over Real Page and the Yield Star software burst into headlines in October thanks to a report from nonprofit news site ProPublica. The report argued that Yield Star is widely used among large property companies and that it has ultimately prompted managers to leave units empty, upended the practice of negotiating for prices, and birthed a new kind of cartel that allows the nation's largest landlords to indirectly coordinate pricing. So, real quick before I go to the next thing, which I thought was funny, why would it prompt them to leave units empty? If they can't get the rent, they just say, okay, fine, we're just not going to rent it at all?
I guess.
Fascinating.
Or maybe they think that, eventually they will find someone, right?
Yep. Now, this I thought was really funny. The ProPublica report further argued that by RealPage's own admission, its algorithm is helping drive rents higher.
What?
Okay.
I know. I saw that.
Yeah, so they're trying to get business from these companies that will buy their software by saying, look, you buy the software, guess what? Your rents are going to go up.
Exactly. And you'll be able to support it because...
Which is not good.
Yeah,
right?
no.
So anyway...
I'm just used to rent being high because we lived on the west side forever.
Well, yeah.
So,
yeah.
And again, when we came out here, we weren't shocked.
Sometimes I am shocked with... Well, first thing is I'm kind of shocked with how much... Oh, to give you an idea, the people that actually wrote the offer at 1.28, that said that they would, they came back, though, and said, by the way, you can close it when you want to close it, like we said.
Right.
But you have to rent it back for 30 days. And I looked at that, and it was $7,700 a month. And I thought, ouch.
For your house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
70, because they were putting 20% down.
I think we maybe should save that one.
Oh, yeah, we definitely. Yeah, because we're running out of time.
I know. And that's going to be a good one. I want to go through that one.
Okay. So,
You pick.
I don't know. Let's just talk.
Okay.
What do you say?
That's totally fine with me.
How are you?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm really good. I think that's interesting, though. I mean, how did they determine that number, the 7,700? Do you know?
Yeah, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance at the 6.25 interest rate of probably a little bit over $1 million when it comes to the loan amount.
Okay. Because I'm wondering, Greg, we just moved. We already need a bigger house. Like, we're just going to, we probably won't move for another 3 or 4 years, but we for sure are going to need a bigger house. But we want to keep ours. We love our house. And so we're talking about, what we can do and invest in and move stuff around to buy a bigger house, but keep this house and what we could rent it for,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have that conversation.
It's pretty amazing.
If and
Yeah.
when.
And the nice thing is, in 3 or 4 years, yours will have gone up substantially. Which
I
is,
hope
which
so.
is, and it's going to be like your little bank account.
I know. She's a cute little house.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah. And the only thing that you need to do is just, put as much money away as you possibly can so that you don't have to take money out of that to actually buy the other house.
Yeah, you tried doing that with 3 kids in school. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
no, you know what? That makes perfect
Taylor,
sense.
I do have 3 children, and they all were in school. So, okay, so let's talk about this. So your house in Texas is going to be done when?
It depends. It's supposed to be ready in April.
Such a lawyer answer.
But they were saying, they were saying that the drywall was supposed to be finished on December 15th.
Okay.
And they only finished it yesterday.
January 19th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a whole month. So does that
Okay.
push it back? They said no. And I said, well,
So
it seems
this
like
is-
it should.
So this is great then that you can stay in your house and close when you need
see,
to.
it's perfect for us just for the fact that Judy wants to stay until at least the first week of March.
Okay.
So we would close and leave town on March 17th. So we'll have 10 days. She'll leave on the 7th, which is on a Friday.
Got it.
And so we're going to have that ability to, have 10 days to get our affairs in order. And
Got it.
Yeah.
So people need to hurry up and call you.
Yes, they do.
And
Well,
how
no,
do
actually, they don't need to hurry because I'm going to be here no matter what.
You will,
But, yeah.
absolutely. But how do they find you?
They just go to philnordella.com or they can call 661-312-3561. And you?
dywlaw.com or 661-259-9000.
That's right. Call
Give us
now.
a call. Yeah.
Operators are standing by.
Admins are standing by. That they really are. But hey, great show.
Yeah. Yeah, another one down.
I know.
Oh, then we
We're
only have
getting
5 more.
5 more, I know.
Oh, my God.
Everyone have a great weekend. Thanks for listening.
We missed you already.
I know.